I'm Bill Ryan, and I'm 71 years old. I've been in private practice as a psychologist for almost 40 years. I'm still passionate about it. For me, the greatest teachers have been my patients and also my own life experiences, all of which have expanded my heart tremendously. And also there's a part of my personality that likes to teach. What I've done is used writing as a vehicle for teaching. One of the things I learned in my own therapy was that I had difficulty taking in love. People were offering it to me and I wasn't receiving it. As I worked through that, I realized patients had the same difficulty in receiving love. And what that led to was my first book that was co-authored, called Love Blocks. Whenever I was in any kind of period of emotional struggle, like when I was going through a divorce, I always spent time out in nature. I always took long walks in the woods. And I also found that that was helpful to me in replenishing myself because the nature of this work can be depleting. And so I spent a regular time every week out in the woods, walking. And that led to another book that I co-authored with my partner, Jeanne. She loved being out in nature settings by water, and so this book was called In the Woods at the Water, Journeys into Nature. And then when I turned 60, I was wondering what's going on with me about turning 60. And so I decided to do a funny thing. I decided to take all the parts of my personality on a retreat for 3 days. And I brought a legal pad with me. I'm an old timer. I write on a legal pad and a pen, and then I have somebody else transcribe it. But I never use a computer or even a typewriter. And so what I did is I wrote down things that led to another book. Led to two things. One is this notion of the council, which I talk about. And then also what happened from it, and this was at this point 11 years ago, I decided to play the harp. Before that, I had never played an instrument in my life. And I started to play this folk harp. And I still am doing that 11 years later and still take lessons in it. And it's deeply enriched my life. About 7 years ago, I got a very aggressive cancer. And I'm grateful that I recovered from that. And at this point, I'm considered healed. Yet, it got me to thinking more deeply about how much time I have left and what do I want to do at that time. And one of the things that really became strong with me is I wanted to leave a legacy. I wanted to talk with other therapists about what is it that I've learned about doing psychotherapy and counseling that it was taught to me by life experiences. And so I wanted to pass that on. And so I decided to write a book called Working from the Heart, a therapist's guide to heart-centered psychotherapy. A main thrust in that, a main message, is our patients benefit from us being more open-hearted, us being more genuinely caring, to be a person that not only knows theory and good techniques, but someone who's moving away from the notion of being a distant professional to being a loving human being. A core thing that I want to pass on is how much our patients benefit from us being able to synthesize theory and technique with a compassionate, open heart. Genuine expression of our caring for the people that we work with. So then clients benefit from both our minds and our hearts. And that's the biggest thing I want to pass on. All these things that I've mentioned are included in this book. Helping people work with their love blocks. Using nature during difficult times of life. How do you deal with transitional moments and big life crises by using the counsel as a technique? And how do you forgive yourself? All of these require an expansion and a more greater open-heartedness by the therapist and client.